Today, we're talking about age. Yes, the middle age crisis. Believe me, after this episode, you will start flying, loving your birthdays, and appreciate your age. Good day, my dear overthinkers of Earth. I'm Katara Lilith. And before we start, let me make one thing clear. My manner isn't rude, it's brutally honest. I don't sugarcoat life with vanilla quotes and fake compassion. So, if your nerves can't handle me, I wish you peace and maybe a nap. Now, if you're still here, welcome to the mind I live in. Raw real-life thoughts. You are not the number. Your life is not the number of candles on a birthday cake. Today is what happens to your soul and your nervous system when the clock refuses to stop. Before 40, you're not living. You're rehearsing. You follow rules you never wrote. You wear masks you never chose. You learn to survive the script you didn't audition for. And your brain, your actual neurological system, is doing the same thing. From birth till about 20, your neurons are racing. Everything is new. Your brain is building highways. Billions of connections every second. Curiosity, chaos, hormones, hope. It's all lightning. You think you're invincible because your prefrontal cortex, the one that says wait, hasn't even clocked in yet. From 20 to 30, that's the decade of wiring. Your nervous system starts pruning, cutting off what doesn't serve, deciding which emotions stay and which reactions die. But most of us don't prune the pain. We prune the joy. We stop dancing, stop trusting, stop playing. We learn responsibility, but forget aliveness. And from 30 to 50, your nervous system, it's no longer chasing novelty, it's chasing balance. It starts craving safety, peace, consistency. And you mistake that calm for boredom. You call it routine, but your brain calls it home. So if you feel like you're changing after 40, you are. Your body chemistry is shifting. Your neurotransmitters are recalibrating. You're not getting old. You're upgrading your wiring. But sometimes the upgrade comes violently. For some painfully. For some heart shredding to pieces. We will talk about it today. For me, it came as a traumatic injury that left me paralyzed. That's how the universe had to stop me, because I ignored too many signs throughout my entire life. So I'm lucky. I have before and after experiences. In the before life, I surrounded myself with too many wrong people. Toxic, emotionally dangerous, distant, narcissistic, selfish, self-absorbed, pure, clear mirrors of my mother, reflections of wounds I refused to look at. Well, girl, you didn't know how, I tell myself. And now I know, pain will find a way to sit you down when you keep running. But for most people, it comes softer. Thanks God. A breakup, a move, a morning where you look in the mirror and realize you don't recognize your own eyes. Either way, it's not punishment. It's rescue. It's your soul breaking the surface, demanding to breathe. Let's talk about marriage, because that's where most of us hide from ourselves. By 40, you've played the whole script. Wedding, children, mortgages, loyalty, therapy, resentment, forgiveness, routine. And then one day, he leaves. For someone younger, and everyone gasps, oh my God, he left her for a 20-year-old. Let's be honest, some men are just assholes. There's no poetic language needed for that. They forget everything you built together. They forget your loyalty, your sacrifices, your nights without sleep, your quiet patience, and they walk out like it was all disposable. They don't appreciate the home you made, the life you balanced, the woman you became. They think they're invisible, untouchable, and that life will treat them better just because they started over. Some men do that, and some women find themselves standing alone, fighting for what's rightfully theirs. For the house, for the business, for the children, for their own damn dignity. And yes, there are those who chase validation through sex, men who use women's bodies like mirrors, just to see if they still matter. Their desire isn't intimacy, it's ego maintenance. They don't want a connection, they want applause. And let's not pretend that the world isn't full of young, strategic women who know exactly what they're doing. If your husband is successful, wealthy, respected, there will always be a few vultures circling. They study, they wait, they strike. They're not always naive, some are brilliant. They know what they want, and it's usually not him. It's his position. They don't want the man, they want the lifestyle. They want the place you built. But I don't like talking about that kind of man, or that kind of story, because it's too easy, too shallow. It's a soap opera that keeps women angry, but never empowered. Today, I want to talk about something deeper, about men who aren't cruel, just tired. Men who are as worn off as you are, men who didn't plan to hurt you, but simply ran out of themselves to give. Sometimes it's not betrayal, it's expiration. Sometimes the contract of that relationship was never meant to be eternal. He left because he's exhausted, because he's worn, empty, and trying to feel something again. That younger woman isn't salvation. She's adrenaline. He's not seeking youth. He's seeking a pulse. Let's clear something up. When people assume a 20-year-old is automatically better at sex than a 40-year-old, they're confusing biology with chemistry and novelty with intimacy. At 20, your body is quick, yes, but your awareness, your empathy, your ability to read another body is still in training. At 40, you've lived enough life to understand rhythm, silence, emotion, energy. You've felt grief, connection, loss, joy, and all of that becomes language in bed. Neurologically, sexual pleasure isn't just about hormones. It's about the nervous system's ability to stay present. A mature woman has a calmer nervous system, less anxiety, more regulation, more awareness. She can actually stay inside the moment. And that's where real intimacy begins. Hormones shift with age, yes, but so does the sensitivity of the brain's reward circuitry. Oxytocin, the bonding chemical, rises with trust and time. Dopamine, the excitement chemical, stabilizes into something deeper: anticipation, tenderness, intensity. It's not a race anymore, it's a symphony. A 20-year-old might have energy, but energy isn't mastery. Experience teaches you to read micro movements, breath, the emotional current underneath touch. At 40, you know that seduction starts long before the skin, in the way you look, the way you speak, the way you listen. That is grown woman sexuality, and no youth can imitate it. So no, he's not chasing better sex. He's chasing his own lost pulse. And the irony is, the most powerful, sensual, emotionally intelligent sex he'll ever have is with the woman who's been alive long enough to understand that love and lust share the same heartbeat. And if this topic stirred something in you, if you feel that quiet curiosity rising in your chest, if you're ready to go deeper into the real psychology of sex, intimacy, and seduction, then listen carefully, because there's a secret episode, a private, members-only training, on my YouTube channel and podcast platforms. It's not just about pleasure, it's about mastery. It's about learning how the masculine mind actually perceives sex, how men connect, detach, crave, and surrender. I know some of you don't like to hear it. Many think that only women can be unhappy. So, my dear, let me tell you, men can be unhappy too. And it's a woman's craft to make him happy. But sometimes that marriage was never meant to last. It was a karmic contract, a partnership built for a season, not eternity. You came together to raise souls, to mirror wounds, to teach patience. And when the lesson is over, the contract dissolves. That's not tragedy. It's graduation. And many wives don't break, they exhale. They whisper, finally, because they were gone long before he left. Already awake, already growing beyond the costume they had to wear. So if your life is shifting, don't drown in self-pity. Don't call it crisis, call it clarity. You're not falling apart, you're falling into place. People will say, you've changed, and you'll smile, because you know what that means. It means you stopped performing. Remember, persona means mask. We will talk about energy of words next week. So stay with me, and remember, I am Katara Lilith, and I am the mind you live in. Let's continue. People say they don't like your persona anymore. That means they never knew you well. To be honest, you never knew you too. You took off the mask. You wore it to survive. You wore it to belong. And after 40, the skin beneath it starts to breathe. The nervous system refuses to fake. You cry easier, love deeper, quit faster, and stop apologizing for existing. That's not decline, that's evolution. When I moved from Chicago to Florida, I felt the difference in my bones. Chicago energy is gray, heavy, metallic. It's the sound of survival. People breathe through concrete. Every smile costs effort. You live at -180, below sea level emotionally. Florida is light. We live at 0 sea level. The gravity feels gentle. The air forgives you. You wake up and the sun whispers, relax, you're still alive. People smile because they can. And kindness doesn't look suspicious anymore. I met a woman there. Her name was Karma. No joke, Karma. She helped me with blueprints, rulers, city permits. She had this calm competence like life never surprised her. And when we finished, she said, I'm at the age where I'm no longer silver. I'm gold and diamonds. My time is valuable. I don't waste it on gossip. I don't waste it on drama. I don't argue, I let life flow. And I thought, that's it. That's the age of arrival. When you've been through the fire long enough to shine without trying. Ask a 25-year-old what age they'd stay forever. They'll say 25. Because it's parties, youth, skin, invincibility. They don't even know what 40 feels like. Unless they've seen happy parents at 40, rare sight. Ask a 35-year-old. They'll never say 20. They've seen too much. They know peace tastes better than chaos. Ask a 50-year-old. They'll say, I'd go back 3 years just to stay there longer. Because after 40 time bends, it's not hours anymore, it's moments. And suddenly, you crave quiet. Not silence. Just peace. In some cultures, they understand this. In Japan, there's Kanreki, the 60th birthday, a return to the beginning of the zodiac, a rebirth. You wear red color of new life because you've completed a full cosmic cycle. In India, there's Vanaprastha, the stage of life where one retreats into nature, not to escape, but to integrate wisdom. You don't run from the world, you teach it. In Mexico, elders are celebrated as living altars. Every November Day of the Dead, they're not mourned, they're remembered alive. In the Philippines, when an elder walks in, the young take their hand to their forehead, a blessing called Mano Po, a silent way of saying, "Thank you for walking before me." In Italy, grandmothers don't fade into quiet corners. They command the kitchen like queens. Their stories are recipes. Their recipes are therapy. In Africa, elders sit in the center of the circle because they are the circle. Wisdom isn't written there, it's lived. We in the West forgot this. We fear wrinkles more than we fear ignorance. We hide age instead of honoring it, and that's why our souls feel homeless. With age, your nervous system softens. Your hormones shift from reaction to reflection. Your serotonin levels rise when you rest instead of run. Your dopamine no longer needs danger. It finds joy in stillness. You stop chasing excitement and start craving meaning. You want coffee that lasts longer than your scroll. You want to water your plants and actually notice the green. You want music that holds you instead of hijacks you. You want people who speak softly but love loudly. Time feels faster because you feel deeper. Awareness expands, and suddenly you're living inside each second. And that's the point. Not to chase time, but to taste it. And the older you get, the quieter you crave it. You stop chasing the next big thing. You start craving mornings that feel like forgiveness. You want fewer people, but more depth. Time doesn't just fly faster because of physics. It flies because awareness expands. You see more in 1 minute than you used to see in a week. And that makes the days dissolve quicker, because you're finally living inside them. So no, middle age isn't the beginning of your end. It's the end of your pretending. It's the season of gold, the age of becoming, the era of truth, the age where the nervous system calms, the soul speaks, and the mask finally falls. So stop running around, my dear. Relax. Look at everything you built, everything you lost, and whisper, "Damn, I lived." I'm Katara Lilith. Gold, diamonds, electricity, and rebirth, and I am the mind you live in. Love you all, my listeners. Thank you for following this journey back to myself. I'll see you next week.